Hi, chat.
Like,
Hi.
Hey. Dub says sup, frickers.
I have to remember how to play Pathfinder again.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I
Get my notes
have
ready.
a big idea.
I know well enough. Because I'm the
They're-
min-maxer of the group.
Okay. So, like, the main thing is, I won't be taking too many looks at the chat. So, hopefully, hopefully don't hold that against me, because I am going to be really busy fucking, doing the DM thing that I do.
I'll make sure no one misbehaves.
I'm also going to get out my metal dice, just in case I need to make rolls that are not seen. Alright, so ideally, tonight, we'll probably play till about 11, 11:30, possibly 12.
Okay.
So, it's ideally going to take you into the first dungeon.
What's gonna happen is one of us is going to just fucking bite it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we died. Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be me, because I'm more than willing to throw myself into any monster for you guys.
Okay, so first things first, hello, I am Bohamshus, I am your GM. Introduce yourselves.
Ah, shit.
I'm Mihal, and I'm the resident min-maxer.
Hi. Probably all have seen me in the Final Fantasy 5 stream. I'm the resident, probably going to fuck up my dice multiple times.
I'm Goggalor. You might remember me as the guy what talked the most on those fucking. If you notice like a guy hand holding from a chat on screen a lot in the Resident Evil videos, that was me. I know a lot about Resident Evil 7 and making characters in Pathfinder that I forget how I was going to play them because it's several months later.
And I'm Swari. I was in the EDF stream, and I'm also the resident Chicky Nug haver. I get them nuts. Alright, so, does everyone have snacks, drinks, everything they need?
Yeah.
Just rush out and get them when you're saying important things later.
Yeah, it'll work out. Okay, so, tell me about your characters real quick, and do so in one sentence or less.
I'm playing a sleepy sheepy. That's all you really need to know.
I'm playing as the Deaf Samurai.
Like I said, I can't remember exactly what my character is. They're magus. They have a sword and they make things die with magic as well. They will develop a personality, I'm sure. I just don't remember what it was intended to be.
My character makes potions and unlocks stuff and is into logic and reason and doesn't believe in any of that silly religion stuff.
I hope you see the T-posing cactus sooner or later.
You might.
Yeah, that's what happens when I develop a character. Shit that doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, I forgot they added the thing where you can make music automatically play when you do shit. That's neat. Make sure it's coming through in OBS. Okay, it should be. Neat. Alright, so let me read a thing to you and then we'll get on our way. Jalira al-Sara is a city known throughout Masmora for its thriving industry and diverse citizenry. Unlike Dran Terminus, which centers its focus on the mechanical and mundane, the Jewel of the Desert focuses primarily on the greater sciences and humanities, making it a veritable oasis for those seeking to experiment and learn.
Its rule is overseen by the Sultan Ramiz al-Makin and his wife, the Sultana Naila el-Jawahir. The days are long and hot in this paradise amongst the desert, but food and drink are plentiful for those with the coin. Unfortunately, that is not you. Alright, you are arriving separately. Swari, you arrive first. You are a down-on-your-luck dungeon breaker with little experience. So keep in mind that you are already registered as a dungeon breaker.
Alright, cool.
You start, if you have any money listed on your character sheet, which you shouldn't, note down that you have 30 Xenia and a single homebound Bliffstone.
What's this Dark Souls bullshit right here?
Also, your weapon is in disrepair and will need to be fixed.
Oh no, not my blade.
Basically, if you don't fix it, just remove any bonuses you get. You don't take a penalty, you just don't get your bonus.
Weapon bonus, I still get my, like, strength bonus, right?
No, all bonuses are removed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Godlore, you are an etched construction worker who wants to strike out into new business.
Okay.
You start with 50 Xenia and a set of workman's tools in well-worn condition. Which basically just means you've used them a lot, it doesn't really mean anything else.
The most fabulous.
But you've
man
got
in
like
the
carpentry
party.
tools.
I'm sorry, like I've just imagined like these most fabulous man in the party.
for
Long
that-
flowing hair.
Tools for
Tesla.
that carpentry skill I definitely have
Yeah,
on my
you
character sheet.
Most certainly have it. Grasslam, you are a
Okay.
scholar. You came to Jawira Al-Sara to study. And you start with 100 Xenia in tuition money and a nicely bound journal with some gold trim.
Fucking nice.
You actually arrived some time ago, and you just left the college after being rejected.
Well, kinda hard to take classes when you really can't hear anything.
Also, you only have 100 Xenia, and that's not enough for tuition.
Yeah.
Also, and the last person to arrive in a breaking down car is someone who most certainly doesn't know how to drive. Mihal, you are an unwilling driver for an up-jump debutante. You start with no money and even fewer positive things to say about your employer. Also, as you're riding into town, your car literally falls apart. Then you get fired. You all are pretty close to each other at this point, at least location-wise. And the obvious starting point would just be the nearest possible inn, which you can already see is just surrounded with people. Just be sure, though, you all got those details.
100 gold and a book.
Okay.
Fuck all.
Was it 30 Xenia and a homebound stone?
Yeah, homebound Bliffstone.
Okay.
You think PC Gen would have just a book?
You just note it down in like a notepad somewhere. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to put on your character sheet through PC Gen in this. So just keep track of it wherever you can.
I don't think Xenia is a supported currency.
Should be, it's the best currency. Off-brand Zenny is the best.
Still prefer Liftstone, which is just a thing from a Capcom game.
Well, it's not a lift stone, it's a lift stone.
Oh, okay. I thought it was literally a liftstone, the thing from
Yeah,
Dark Arisen.
Well, effectively it is. It's you remember how you had the return baubles in the first Masmora?
Well, yeah, that's what I thought this
Yeah,
was
it's-
going to be. I
it's-
thought you were literally
Safari-
calling it the same
By the
thing
way,
as Dragon's
Safari
Den.
has only one, and also they're like 200 Zinga each.
I'm
Now
not
we
selling
know.
a shit.
Now we know what we can sell.
Alright, so is anyone going anywhere in particular? Or... Should point out you guys are technically all unemployed. Except for Swari. Swari is a dungeon breaker, so you might want to write down that you have a dungeon breaker's license, Swari.
Well, I imagine Rem is completely lost since she's not from here.
You're not sure what that debutante was on about, but man, she didn't like you that much. I mean, that's okay, just you didn't like her either, but...
So, are you driving the car or the sheep driving the
Oh,
car?
the car, that ain't a thing anymore.
It's a finger quotes car.
It is a collection of parts that used to be a car, but not a car anymore.
But I can fix it with my carpentry's tools and no experience on automobiles.
But hey, you might not only acquire, but you might actually need a car later.
Ye-
I mean,
Well, let's just save the parts.
you could make like a giant wooden bar with wooden wheels and a rope on the front and just drag it around.
Or you know what? I know what we should do. Let's push it over to Sid's place.
That might take a
game
little
that
bit
came out
longer than
recently
you
that started
have.
this way, I think. Which one of us is the prince of a doomed city?
That's not how this game works. So anyway. Like the more you stand around, the more you just seem to get drawn towards, like almost unconsciously, like you're being sort of shuffled through the crowd towards this inn. So it might
So I'm
be
guessing.
a good idea to look for work too, because none of you is particularly wealthy.
So I'm going to go toward the nearest message board.
Alright, so the message board is inside the inn. And there's a reason
Oh
for
shit!
that.
How
Uh-oh.
convenient.
Rem is just looking for a place to sleep, and if that ends up in the guild hall, whatever.
Okay. Well,
Maybe their hunter's board needs repair. Maybe that slab of wood has fallen into disrepair somehow.
alright, so are you all going into the inn or just Rem? And
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
go. Maybe there's a dungeon breaking job.
okay. So I would assume you all just go. And so when you get in there, like just I would assume none of you have actually been here to the city before. Swari, you may have been to the city before because it's a big dungeon breaking hub. But I'll leave that up to you.
I've probably heard of this place and wanted to come here, and like now I've finally made it. But to get here, I basically have nothing to my name because I spent it all.
So you probably started dungeon breaking around the time that Guild Burning Rangers from first Masmora cleared out Grand Terminus.
Running Rangers, I never heard of those people.
You'll probably not see them again.
Yeah, who the fuck are those guys?
Okay, so you go in there and you're greeted by this like tall, tan-skinned, muscular lady, and she's got like, despite her really tough exterior, she's got like a really warm, soft look on her face. She just treats you like the most, like she's known you forever, pretty much. She tells Rem, it's like, we're already booked for the entire night, and it is just shoulder to shoulder in this fucking place. I mean, there's practically only one table remaining, and people aren't sitting there just because they don't want to take that table up by themselves. sort of a courtesy thing. But you guys might be able to sit together if you feel so inclined. Soiree, there is a job on the board. It seems to be neglected. It's talking about a minuscule anomalous dungeon. As a matter of fact, sorry, go ahead and write down that you have 1 rank in Dungeon Breaker, just on a notepad. And I'll bring that up in a second. But you feel, though, trying to go into one, even a tiny one like that, by yourself probably wouldn't be the best idea.
Let's see.
So Timon looks over at is it Nisha? Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, Nisha.
So she looks at Nisha and then she points at the worn out paper on the message board and then points to herself.
And Grassland, keep in mind you're not registered.
Right.
Maybe something you can do later.
Gotta get my license to go into the kill hole. I'm assuming Nisha doesn't know sign language.
I think she gets the point. You'd probably be like, "Oh, are you also a dungeon breaker?"
She shakes her head no.
Hmm.
Here's a point, Grassland. Can you hear sorry?
She can read lip. Actually put points of linguistics is for that. So she can understand what Swari is saying, or Nisha.
Also, I'm trying to remember the shortcut for rotating the thing. It's embarrassing. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, in response to that, she'd probably be like, well, are you interested in being a dungeon breaker?
She shakes her head yes and smiles.
Well, this is the major hub. There's bound to be some way to register as one here.
And then she draws like a circle in the air with like a one in the middle of it.
I don't think I quite get you. Is there any sort of like paper or pen around that I see, like kind of glancing around?
There is a small pad of paper and a pencil on the table.
Wouldn't you be able to technically speak?
I guess she
Yeah,
could technically
like-
speak, but she probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
be able
can
to hear
speak.
herself well. She says how much.
I don't know. How much does a dungeon breaker's license cost?
Registering is free.
Oh,
Oh, registering is free, actually.
well, we probably gonna need more people then.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for, honestly. I mean, not like I'm at a shortage looking at this in here.
Alright. Godlore, me, are you saying anything? Do anything?
Rem is just sleeping at the table.
Oh, Rem sat down at the table?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rem's just sort of there and asleep.
Yep. With her sheepy pillow.
Idle, are you doing anything?
I think Erwin also takes a seat at the table.
All right. So as soon as you sit down at this table and fill up all the seats, the innkeep comes over, and she's still just as soft and friendly as usual. Introduces herself as Shayla, and she tells you, because she hasn't met any of you before, your first round is free.
How much does the second round cost?
It depends on what you order.
Rem being asleep does not respond.
But the idea is that you'll come back later on once you've done some successful dungeon breaking, made some money, and patronize her bar more often. So this bar that you're in is actually called the Fortune Hunter's Homestead. You'll be here a lot.
Oh, it's our save point.
Yeah. What do we save at in this inn? Is it like we sit down at the table and then it loads up a screen?
Okay. In any case, I should also let you know that like I gave Swarie a rank in Dungeon Breaker. There's three facets to dungeon breaking. There's dungeon breaking itself, surveying, and assaying. So Dungeon Breaker, you need to write down Dungeon Breaker, Surveyor, and Assayer, and a number next to each of them. You have 2 points. They start at 0. They can be put into any of those. And you can double up if you feel so inclined.
Could you repeat or maybe type out what those 3 are?
Could you give me the player's handbook definitions of what those 3 skills cover?
Give me a moment. Basically, Dungeon Breaker as a skill lets you do certain things like in the dungeon itself. Like once you clear the dungeon out, you need at least 1 point in Dungeon Breaker to go searching for treasure you may have missed. Basically, Dungeon Breaker lets you find. It will let you determine certain things about dungeons. It basically clues you into how dungeons work. Surveyor lets you, you can actually scout ahead in dungeons. At a high enough rank in Surveyor, you can detect FOEs without having an FOE gem. Which I should also point out, you do not have one right now. And then Assayer, without that skill, without any points in Assayer, you cannot determine the value of dungeon hearts that you find. So you may get undersold on them if you don't know. Basically, imagine that each of these is sort of like a rolling together of multiple skills. Like Dungeon Breaker is, knowledge dungeoneering and a couple other things. Perhaps like sleight of hand and everything like that. So you may be able to use those in place of certain skills, and I will let you know how to roll when that happens if you feel so inclined.
So we start out with 2 points.
2 points. Swarie already has 1 rank in Dungeon Breaker, and he gets the 2 points anyway.
I'm dumping all my points to the Assayer.
Okay. So Grassland is going to be the one who determines how much everything is.
So I do get 2 extra points, including the 1 in Dungeon Breaker?
Yes.
Okay. I'm probably gonna put 1 more in Dungeon Breaker and 1 in Surveyor.
Okay.
All in on Surveyor.
Okay, so Godlord, what are you doing?
The thing is, just on my character sheet, I've already invested in knowledge dungeoneering, so like, I'm not sure how many points to put in a dungeon breaker.
Well, keep in mind that there will be some checks that I will put onto you, where if you don't have ranks in Dungeon Breaker, Surveyor, or Assayer, you won't be able to conduct those checks. So just do whatever feels right, I guess.
Alright, well what feels right to me is to be better at dungeon breaking than Swari is, even though Swari is actually a dungeon breaker. So 2 ranks in that.
No, you're just as good of a Dungeon Breaker as me.
Oh, you're right, you did put an extra point in there. Whatever, close enough.
Okay, so you've all got that marked down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, Shayla tells you that, she hopes that next time she sees you, you've got a dungeon heart to sell. That you can sell them here at the inn. And basically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come back here whenever you clear a dungeon. To find new work and everything like that. And, Swari, do you take the notice off the board?
I suppose so, since I'm trying to find more people who will work with me.
Okay. Alright, so... the problem is Mihal's asleep. I'm not sure how you should go about dragging her with you.
Keep her up.
I pet one of her sheep.
Keep
Alright.
use a little.
I pet it more.
Ah,
I pet it even more.
no.
I pet it violently.
Why
Holy
are you
shit,
just
long
fucking
ago.
petting this sheep so hard? Okay, so I'm guessing this waits Rim up.
Yeah,
Okay.
she is loudly pleading for help.
No one can really hear you over the fact that there's like a million people. Alright, so hey, it's already midday. You could go. Okay, so there's all sorts of things you could go doing right now. You could go get everyone else registered as a dungeon breaker, which I've mentioned is free. You could also go looking for housing, because if you're going to operate out of this place, you're going to need permanent shelter.
Let's
So I'll
go.
let you decide what you want to do.
Let's go find some real estate first.
All right, so you.
Erwin pipes up. Excusez-moi, proprietor.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, she looks over.
Do you happen to know where I can apply for a dungeon breaker's license?
And she
I'm
says,
reading that correctly, right? Dungeon breaker.
"Mm-hmm."
Seems to be what's written on this slip, and I might as well give it a shot, right?
Well, the good thing is, she says, I'm actually registered to, or I'm actually enlisted as a registrar, so I can actually have you fill out the paperwork here if you feel so inclined.
Oh, sure. Do you have any on hand?
All right, so she hands you a paper with a pen, and she points out a few places on it. She says, "I'll need your signature here, here, and here, and I'll need your date of birth here."
Right. Erwin fills it out and then promptly spills his beer on it. He goes, "Oh shit."
And she
Is
gets
that
you another
alright?
one. She gets you another one.
Another beer or another
Well, she did
piece of paper?
she did you one of each. She just tells you to be a little bit more careful. So you trying to get yourself some free beers, you cheapskate.
Because I'm gonna suck it out of the paper.
You got that.
It'll taste like beer and ink as well.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that as the innkeeper. I'm saying that as the DM. I'm being incredibly judgmental. No, Shayla's too nice to tell you that.
Tony asked for a sheet as well.
All right, so she points out the same places on the sheet.
And she signs up as well.
Me, is Rim gonna do it?
Ren has no idea what's going on because she was asleep.
Does anyone want to catch me haul up? Does anyone even feel inclined to talk to Rim?
Hello, ma'am. What's your name?
Ram?
Sign this form. You signed it?
No.
How about now?
No.
Want a beer?
What is this?
Here's the thing, me, can Rem read common?
Yes.
Okay. You can see clearly it's a application to register as a dungeon breaker.
What's a dungeon breaker?
Fuck if I know.
She just looks around, panicked.
You gather, by looking around, that dungeon breakers appear to be some sort of adventurer.
She's extremely unsure about this.
You think about it for a second. If you get money by dungeon breaking, you can get the most extravagant bed to sleep on. And like, imagine it'll be made out of like the finest goose feathers.
That image is enough to sell her.
With silken sheets. It'll be great.
So she signed.
Okay. So she takes your applications and she provides you with some additional paperwork that she fills out as she goes. And she says you'll need to keep these on you, and once you get a permanent address here, you'll receive some. You'll just need to give me the address so I can send you the full license. But basically, these are provisional licenses for now, so that you can go ahead and get to work.
Flash just mentioned apparently our voices are kind of drowned out by the music.
Okay, let me turn that down. Okay, so you've all got your provisional Dungeon Breaker's license now. When you get a full address, you'll need to come back to the inn and just give her your new address. Okay, so now are you gonna go searching for housing?
Might as
I
well.
mean, we have a guy with carpenter skills. We can just have him build a shack.
No, you can't. The zoning committee will not allow that.
You haven't seen my carpentry skills.
Alright, Magnus.
No, by that I mean I'm really good at. I can glue popsicle sticks together and make a cool fort. I can saw things and then not remember how to attach them again. I can put nails into wood that don't line up correctly and don't actually pierce both pieces of wood, just one. I can operate without knowing what it is, a pair of pliers. I have a screwdriver.
Okay. Well, you guys start your search for housing as the sun starts to descend below the skyline. There's still plenty of time in the day, but you wager you'll need to find someone to talk to about a house soon, or you're going to be out in the dark. And many landlords in Jawira al-Sabra require only a paltry deposit to net you a place to lay your weary head when the day is done. So you figure if you ask around, you'll likely find what you're after. Although, with your funds, it may be better to pool your resources.
What resources?
That's a good point, me.
I have 100 gold in a book.
Let's find a Tanuki and ask him if he knows about housing prices.
Unfortunately, no matter how hard you search, you do not seem to locate a Tanuki.
Rem is ready to sleep in like an alleyway.
Alright, so is anyone going looking for people?
I'll look.
Okay. So you go and ask around about some realty places, and you get pointed to a few realtors. And you go and you talk to them, and there's a few houses available. But it just seems like you don't have the deposit money to make it.
That's a problem.
So you spend some time going from each realtor to realtor and looking through their assortment, and no matter what, the constant just seems to be that you cannot come up with the deposit.
I mean, I have a decent charisma. Maybe I can talk them into it.
Well, you can give it a try. See, that's still not enough.
God damn it.
You gotta remember, these people are shrewd salespeople who've been at it for years. Now, they're pretty set in their prices, so...
I know. Let me try it.
Okay. Nope.
I mean, that's fine, because Erwin's argument basically came down to walking out in the middle of the street and yelling, "Is anybody willing to lease us a house?"
Thankfully, Tomomi didn't hear that. Or read that.
Okay, well, I know Rem is like one step away from just going to sleep on the spot, so sorry, are you doing anything?
Well, I don't know, because like I doubt I'm gonna get a better roll than what Grassam has gotten as far as like speech checks go.
Well then, perhaps because you still have time to go about town, maybe you should see about getting your weapon fixed. So I'll let you know you can afford that.
Yes, I suppose I should.
Alright, so you go visit the blacksmith's quarter. And the smith there tells you, notices immediately as you walk in that your weapon's all banged up. And he's like, you cannot leave the city with that. You're not leaving. Matter of fact, you're not leaving this building with that.
Yes, that's why I figured I should come down here and get it looked at.
Okay. So, yeah, he tells you, he's like, tell you what. Give me what you got, and I will repair it. So, 30 Xenia to repair it.
Yeah, I'd give him the Xenia.
Okay, so he just sets to work. He's like, come back tomorrow, and I will give it back to you.
Alright then.
Alright, so you currently have no weapon. So back to the search for housing. as soon as you walked outside, sorry, someone actually comes, like a courier comes up and delivers you a letter. And it seems to be on like really nice parchment, sealed with fine wax and everything like that. So
Got a black hand on it. Says you took our kill. We're watching.
nah, it's not a black hand that says want to buy a house.
Oh, one of those notices. There's a lot of those too.
I mean, I would want to buy a house if I didn't just spend all my Zinnia on getting my sword not messed up.
Well, you remember you suddenly come into the possession of 3 friends who might want to co-op with you on that.
And a sheep.
I heard there's a museum opening up in Dawnstar.
Alright, so the letter comes from a man named Rochard de Montalban, and states that he has the intention to sell you a guild hall for a reasonable price with a minimal deposit required. Also enclosed in the letter is a location, and he says if you could meet him there in about an hour. The sun's actually starting to set fully at this point, and a slight chill has descended upon the city. People are still out and about, but some have started to make their way indoors, and the fact that this man appeared so suddenly after you started your search seems suspect, but the idea that you won't have to search for an inn with open rooms at the end of the night is somewhat tempting.
Well, I mean, I definitely tell the other dungeon breakers about it. That I plan on, I guess, housing with.
Also, I should probably point out, hey Dodalor, I'm getting the impression from your character that he's kind of a ponce.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you hear the word guild hall. Does that strike your fancy?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Grasslime, you don't hear anything because you are quite deaf. But I'm assuming Soiree writes it down for you.
I could also just give her the letter and let her look at it.
Also, somewhere along the line, you somehow have come into the possession of a small wagon which you are dragging Rem around in. She is quite asleep.
I made it. Don't sit on any of the spiky bits.
Huh.
She looks up at Group and is like, this sounds like a scam.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So
Like,
are
I'm
you...
pretty sure.
I mean, it's that or sleep in the street, so...
Like, I'm pretty sure this guy might try to kill us.
Yeah, I also would like you to remember that in the desert it is real cold at night.
And let me tell you this. Scams aren't all bad. I mean, look at this. I can't do carpentry at all, and I've built this cart. The wheel falls off and rolls away.
Rem is not even budged even a little bit.
I feel like I'm gonna get tetanus just looking at it.
I mean, it's not hard to drag her around since she weighs like 5 pounds.
God, you are so light. How... Okay.
You should just has her head in her hands and is like, yeah, right. Let's hurry up and talk to this guy before I completely regret coming down here.
Okay, so you're going to meet him. Yes, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am. I hope other people are because I have no money.
Rem's not going to resist.
Alright, so it takes some time to get to the meeting point indicated by the letter. You have to walk some ways into the city and up the many stairs to the upper residencies area. You realize now just how vast and expansive Joyra Alsara is when it comes to this, when it seems that the city fades away into a large green expanse, almost as if it was ripped from the temperate plains of Grand Terminus. As you walk up the steps into the property, you see a truly extravagant building perched upon a lawn verdant green. There's a rectangular, shallow reflecting pool that stretches from one end of the lawn to the other, coming right up to a walkway that leads to the mansion itself. This place looks like it could house an army, not just a guild of adventurers. Surely there must be something wrong with it to justify the price this Rochard seeks from you, but from a cursory look around the place, nothing seems amiss. And before long, you are greeted by a tall, slim man with a fancy haircut and stylish clothes.
Can't wait till we fall asleep, and then the ghosts show up. You gotta track down the owner after he moved to the Imperial City.
Okay, so this man, like walks up to you in a really graceful way, and he's just like he extends his hand and he says, "Rochard de Montalban, I'm pleased to meet you." Do any of you shake his hand?
I shake his hand.
Ram, as you
Yeah, I also.
Rem is totally not gonna shake his hand because she is quite asleep. Okay, so Swari also shakes his hand. Godlord, are you gonna shake his hand, or are you gonna bow, or what?
I shake his hand and introduce myself with my full name, which lasts for about 10 seconds, saying the whole thing.
It's quite an extensive set of titles you have there.
Most of them fictional, though I suspect you may have some as well.
Okay, Don Quixote. So he's like, let me show you around the property. So he starts, walking you around it. As he goes, he notes, the features of the house. He says it is a 4-story estate on 130 acres of land, featuring plenty of spare rooms to be used as you see fit. 10 bathrooms, 10 bedrooms by default, and an additional 2 basement floors furnished with equipment for blacksmiths and practice areas. The manor itself was finished just about 6 months ago, and I've had staff keeping the building clean ever since it finished, so that the burden of cleaning wouldn't have to be placed on the prospective buyer. I noted that a deposit would be required, but honestly, I feel that you are all quite upstanding, trustworthy folks.
Yes, trustworthy.
So I think what I'll do for you is, if you want this place, I will waive that deposit.
What's the catch?
He pulls out a monumentally thick stack of papers. He's like, you might want to look over the lease and sign it if you feel like owning this lovely estate.
What's the part about 5 pages in that's written in what appears to be dried blood? Well, that's just a guess. It might simply be very dark red ink.
It is, in fact, just dark red ink. But yeah, it's a wonder you even noticed what color the ink was, because the second you put eyes on this gigantic ass lease, your eyes just sort of slide right off the page. Eula's, am I right?
I just take the top page off and start reading it.
It's very, very small print.
I squint.
And you may notice that all the pages are in 3-point font. You are just fucking bewildered by how much is on each page and how very little of it you intend to read.
Can I roll appraise to somehow get a general sense of the document?
You can try. So how long do you intend to look at this document?
About 15 seconds.
Okay, this thing is 45 pages.
Good enough.
Okay, so you're looking at this paper, and you get sort of a general idea that this is in fact a lease. So you would be making payments directly to Mr. de Montalban. You see a section that is labeled pricing, but the font on it is so nonsensically small. It's labeled
to write in 4-point font.
He actually points it out to you. He's like, this is the pricing and payments. And when you look at it, it's in such a nonsensically small font. You're certain it doesn't actually say anything, but is instead just a bunch of dots on the paper. You're baffled at how anyone can see what the price says, but you do see that there is actually a number in the section. There's a dizzying number of zeros there.
I mean, you can find another guild house.
No, this is good.
No.
In fact,
They need this bigger place.
Dr. Lord, did you roll me a will save?
I forget if that's one of my good ones or not. Nope, it's my worst one.
Oh fuck.
This is the D20 plus the bonus, right?
Mm-hmm. That is not enough.
Did you think I wasn't going to sign it, though?
Well, I knew you were going to, but now you just feel sort of compelled to. In fact, you feel so compelled to that you sign it as Erwin, whatever your last name is, and Company.
I mean, this is bad idea, you guys. We can't afford this big. What are you doing? Why are you signing that?
Buying a guild hall.
No!
So before
Terrible idea.
before Tomoe can raise her voice, Erwin has already signed the document. Congratulations! You're now an owner of a really fantastic guild hall.
Good. Can we put in an observatory?
Maybe one day. So he shakes each of your hands again, except for Rim, because she's still quite asleep. She doesn't realize that she's just been put into crippling debt. And, so he shakes each of your hands and tells you congratulations on becoming homeowners.
Great.
That's one way of putting it, yes.
There's so much
Alright.
to do with this big ass house.
Sleep, for one.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so you may notice there's also a new thing on the screen at the top near the clock. Basically, 7 days before the 7 days before the end of the month, you will receive a bill in the mail, and then 7 days later, it will become due. And if you fail to pay 3 times, you will go into default, and that is the lose state for this for this campaign. So, basically, be prepared when it is that pinkish section on the deadline counter. That's when your bill's gonna show up.
We need to go into the TV and make sure we can rescue the person.
Yes, first.
Can we just burn down this place and collect insurance?
Nope.
No, it's too nice for that. I won't have you burning down my solid gold bathroom.
you won't be able to burn down fucking the house at Versailles that easy. It's a very large estate.
Besides, even if we were gonna burn it down, let's get some sleep first.
You figure, though, with enough time and effort, you should be able to make the payments. Richard did seem like the kind of person to put you in debt for a long time. So you figure that the monthly payments probably aren't that high. Alright, so y'all go to sleep. Except for Rem, who is already asleep. She continues to sleep.
Is she sleeping in the cart?
She's sleeping wherever she can get comfortable. Which is pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I don't imagine she, like, unless anyone woke her up, she's probably still in the cart wherever you place her.
Just
Okay.
park
I'm not
outside
waking
the
her
house.
up.
I'm going to go see if there's alcohol in this palace.
Well, there's furniture, but there's no alcohol.
Damn it.
Maybe one day you can store alcohol in the basement. The large basement. Tons of space. I'm not gonna... Alright, I'm not doing it if I didn't be able to reiterate enough. This house is probably the most fantastic property in all of the city, except for the palace. So, like, you got out-pounced and became a homeowner. So, the next day, you all wake up, except for Rem, who continues to sleep. You might want to wake her up, though, because eventually she has to eat or drink, or she will die.
Well, remember, she can eat in her sleep.
That's true.
I take the half busted up cart and put it in the sun.
Okay, so you decorate your new fancy lawn with a shitty, terrible cart that only has 3 wheels and is probably covered in nails.
Oh, I know. I want to make this place more homey. So I open up my bag and place several portraits of me around the house.
Okay, so practically every surface of the house is covered with pictures of Erwin now.
So
Well,
what
Every surface.
Not really.
Just several.
Actually, not even really several of them. Like a couple of walls. You don't realize how many walls there are in this place that you could cover with paintings.
I wonders what her life choices led her to this.
My favorite one is in the master bedroom.
Let me guess, you're sleeping in that?
Unless you want to sleep in front of a picture of me sleeping on a bearskin rug really sexily.
She just stares at
That's
him.
canon.
She stares at him and goes, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go meditate or something."
Also, who is
So
the
what was
first?
that about burning the mansion down?
Well, here's the thing.
Because insurance money or no, I'm kind of for that now.
You notice though, as you wake up, a bird flies in through the window. It's carrying a small box.
What's in it?
A donut.
Tomato was really confused by it.
And basically, what it is a small package. It's a small package from, just a neighbor. You can't really see their house from here. Your estate is that vast, but you're sure they're nice people because they sent you donuts and a note that says, it says "Welcome to the neighborhood." You're not really sure how this becomes a neighborhood when you're the only house within several miles.
Give the bird back a note that says "Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub."
Tomoe just goes deeper into her state of confusion.
Okay. Alright, so, for those of you who didn't play in the first one, which I think was just... Well, Swari played for... Yeah, Swari played in the first one. Never mind.
she was following
For those of you who are not familiar with Mazmora, though, Mazmora is a setting that I created. It is basically fantasy turn of the century, sort of like the early 1900s, which is why there were cars. But also, one of the prominent services in the land is Kestrel delivered donuts.
Kestrels are doing some real hard work.
They will
It turns
bring
out
you your
that
donuts,
Are the
And you
man-mans
will-
of this world?
and you will enjoy the donuts. So hey, sorry, you remember that you were supposed to visit the blacksmith and get your weapon back?
Yes, with all that's already happened, I kind of leave.
Alright, so you
Just sort of unannounced.
just sort of unceremoniously walk out the door and go get your weapon.
Yeah.
Wait, I have an idea. So, how much are those donuts worth?
Are you telling me you intend to sell the donuts back?
Yes.
I don't think you'll find a merchant who will take them. Someone might take them as a gift, but you're not selling those donuts.
Tomoe just sighs and starts to chomp down on one.
I mean, after all, you have already had your hands on them, so...
She has given in to her fate.
Okay, so, aside from Rem, who slept through the entire thing, you're all starting to come to grips with the fact that you now owe an extravagant amount of money thanks to Erwin.
What time is it, by the way?
What time is it? It is dawn.
Okay.
Does Rem wake up?
Not until like 2 p.m.
Okay. What
Even
time?
the sunlight?
What I was gonna say? What time does Rem go to sleep?
Well, she sleeps like 16 hours a day.
I was half expecting to just hear 3 p.m. It's like there's 1 hour of the day in which you can do dungeon breaking. But no. So as far as Donnie did his weapon, anyone else doing anything? Taking a look around, just waiting.
I guess. So after Tomoe just comes to grips with what happened, she, eats the donut, does a little training, and just decides to explore the place.
All right,
Oh yeah, I took like a donut or two with me.
Matter of fact, hey, Rem, you smell the donuts. So I want to hear you describe how
Rem
you get.
can even eat donuts.
You got crushing teeth. Herbivores have crushing teeth.
Yeah, but I mean, like, diet-wise.
You know what? Fuck it.
Rats.
I put the donut on her face before I leave.
There's like a wheat one.
A dandelion donut?
Just wheat. If I remember right, aren't you from another plane?
Yes.
So, like, it's probably difficult to accommodate your diet unless they're in the desert of all places. Although I did just mention that you have like a huge green lawn, so maybe, I don't know.
I mean, there are some companies
I'm gonna make an executive ruling though. You can eat a donut.
Okay.
There are some companies that have like goats that mow your lawn, but I mean eat your lawn.
But like, I'm not gonna like make smaller decisions for your character, like getting you signed into a lease or anything. But I will determine that you must be able to eat donuts. That is the law of the land. Alright, so Swari is in possession of the slip, talking about the minuscule anomalous dungeon. So right now it's out of sight, out of mind. Basically, though, while you're exploring around Grassland, you do find that Rochard was telling the truth when it came to the idea that he had it cleaned every day since the building was finished. The place is in immaculate condition. There's no dirt or dust to be found anywhere. It's almost like the building was finished yesterday, but it wasn't.
How many Erwin paintings are around?
There's like 3. So if no one else does anything, I'm gonna have Swari come back from being around. And you remember that not only are you currently destitute, you're also in possession of one source of income.
While Misha's on her way back, I pour over what information I do have about what dungeon breaking is while eating the last donut in the box, which is an eclair, or at least it looks like it. It's actually a long donut.
It was sort of jammed into the box a little bit haphazardly. They wanted to give you a little extra. But basically, you find out that dungeon breaking is a form of adventuring in employ since what became known as the Age of Routine, which is when when Dr. Elena Narrator came up with the narrator machine which it allows settlements and cities to determine when and where an anomalous dungeon, which is a random dungeon that just sort of appears almost as if like a force of nature. This machine lets people determine when and where they're going to show up. Dungeon breakers typically go in and recover the dungeon heart inside the dungeon, which is a greenish gem that can be anywhere from the size of a fingernail to the size of a small building. Depending on how many flaws the dungeon heart has, and how large it is, it can be used for all sorts of things, from powering small devices to powering entire cities. And typically, dungeon breakers are compensated for the size of a dungeon heart that they recover. So basically, you find out you've been enlisted in a lot of incredibly dirty work.
I've been in dirtier.
You say, sure of yourself.
Oh, differently dirty.
Oh.
Carpentry, for one.
Would you
Fact,
say you've worked with wood?
In a few ways.
I'm hesitant to ask where this is going, me.
Exactly where you'd think it's going.
Yes, I shot a porno, and you can find it on shelves if you go to the right places.
Is the right places your house?
Yes. Remind me to set up the screening room when I have time.
No!
Okay, so actual canon, Erwin is in possession of the only copy of that, and it's also at his original home, which burned down. What I'm getting at is that no more copies of that exist.
You just hear Tamori screaming louder in the distance.
Anyway,
Honestly, it was very erotic.
anyway, Nisha returns just to hear, I assure you, it was very erotic.
Not gonna ask. Okay, so
Help
about
me.
this. So I guess now we're this dungeoneering job because we got ourselves into a mighty large debt thanks to certain people.
Okay. So, Swari, because you have a rank in Dungeon Breaker and you're the one in possession of this particular slip, you see that this is a minuscule anomalous dungeon, meaning typically about one floor, and it also usually doesn't feature too many monsters. This notice was posted just yesterday, about 30 minutes before you came in to the Fortune Hunters homestead. So you know that the dungeon can't be too old, because the narrator device can pick it up about 30 days in advance, and they usually don't post the notices until the day they're going to show up. Chances are, the area outside of this dungeon has already been cleared away by the Surveyor Corps. So you won't have to worry about monsters on your approach. It'll just be a matter of finding the entrance and going in. And you can also expect that the dungeon heart on the inside probably won't be worth too much. But hey, it's a start.
Indeed.
Let me go get my armor.
Right, so, is everyone in agreement you are going into this dungeon?
I'm not gonna resist.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I'm just going to implicitly, like, if you're playing as Rem, which right now is your only character, I'm just going to just forgo the fact, forgo asking you whether you agree or not. Just chances are you're probably asleep and you don't care.
Yep.
it's better
We'll
than
just drag her along anyways.
it's better than what we're doing right now.
All right. So, um,
Very least we can use her as bait.
how much money do you have? Do you guys have combined?
I have 100.
Okay.
I have nothing.
Hall has nothing. I think Godlord, you had 50. Yeah, so you have 150 total. Your goal by the end of the month is 10,000 Xenia. You have about 29 days left. So, so you decide to head on your way. So you can choose to either use your money now and buy some supplies before you go in, which admittedly you're not going to be able to get too much. Or you can go just straight there and just deal with what you got.
How much are supplies?
All right, so the things you're probably going to be able to afford is stuff like rope and like chalk and stuff. Like the most like necessary thing that you can afford with what you got is potions of cure light wounds are 50 Xenia each.
How much Xenia was that? Kind of cut out.
50. That's 50 each for a potion of cure light wounds. So you can afford 3 of them.
I'll buy one.
Okay. Just deduct 50 Xenia from. Someone needs. Okay, like basically, you guys are probably gonna want to just pool your Xenia from now on. So just someone keep track of how much you have total.
I have 50 now.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, does anyone want to be sort of like a designated note taker?
I mean, I can if you want.
Okay. So yeah, just if you just keep track of basically just anything you feel that's important, but most importantly, how much Xenia you have, like total between all characters.
Might be a good idea to like set up a document where we can just edit it.
We'll do that after this session. Just for right now, note it down on a notepad.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I'm not gonna get anything, or not any potions at least, but I am going to have my 2 prepared extracts be cure light wounds.
You're an alchemist.
Yep. Well,
Investigator.
Yeah, investigator.
Okay.
Alchemy has a very storied history in Masmora.
Alchemy's rad as shit. So, like, alchemy rules in this fucking game.
Especially when it turns you into a wrestler.
Yeah, especially when it turns you into Gideon, who, for those of you watching this later, was the best character. combination fighter alchemist whose gimmick was becoming Mr. Torch. Alright, so
His gimmick was in making you raise boss health because he would kill it in one hit.
yeah, I had to do some balancing work, but yeah. Okay, so like you guys start on if you're not gonna buy anything else, are you done?
Yeah, I'm set.
Buying some rope probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Alright, it's 10 Xenia for 20 feet of rope.
Okay.
Okay. So you got just remember also that you have that homebound glyph stone, where if you get in serious trouble, you can use it and it will return the entire party to town. So
I say I doubt we need to use it, but looking at my party,
I'm sure you'll be fine.
one's asleep, one is Irwin.
Does that mean Tomo is the only competent one in the party so far?
Perhaps we'll see.
You're the one that hasn't disappointed me yet.
All right, so you know from the notice that the dungeon was located not too far out of town. Usually they post ones closer to Jawira Al-Sara, sooner after they are opened up and everything. So like because this one is so close, it got posted pretty much immediately, and you guys have already taken it. So it's like walking distance out of town. So you guys head on out and make your way to where the Surveyor Corps is. They tell you that they've cleared out all the stuff and that you guys can go on in. They just ask to see your licenses real quick.
Tomo shows hers.
Yeah, show mine as well.
Yeah, Erwin shows his, accompanied by saying, "Soon you won't need to see my license, for you will remember me as the richest man in town."
Thankfully, Tomomi didn't hear that.
One second. All right, so let me switch on over.
I think one of us is gonna have to show Rem's license because I think they're still asleep.
Yeah, basically, one of you holds Ren's hand up. I will say this though, as soon as you guys walk down the stairs into the dungeon, the atmosphere of it actually just shakes Rem awake.
Well, I imagine like dragging the cart down the stairs is enough to wake her up.
That also is the case.
Fuck that, we left the cart at the top of the stairs. I'm pushing it back up the stairs.
Where am I?
Does anyone want to inform Rem that she's at work?
You're at work.
We're getting paid.
A hole in the ground filled with deadly monsters.
I'm just an exchange student.
So was I.
Alright.
Not anymore.
The dungeon you have entered is relatively new. The stonework still seems well put together. The air has a neutral, odorless waft to it. There are torches every so many feet apart, giving the dungeon a decent amount of light, with the occasional dim spot perfectly in between two sconces. The wind doesn't reach down the staircase you just took to get here, so the sound of air flowing through the halls is very faint. It's almost perfectly quiet. In fact, you were uncertain whether you should make you feel at ease or on edge.
I can't hear shit, so that's okay.
Rem is very much on edge. He goes to sleep in a cart and wakes up in a dungeon, knowing nothing in between.
Alright, does anyone want to make me a perception check?
I see shit.
Grassland, not only are you deaf, you were also blind.
Fuck. Can I at least be friends with Sonjie now?
Well, no, you see, basically you look at what me sees everything. So Grassland sees their stone. It's everywhere.
That's nice.
In fact. But me manages to see that there are small runes on each of the stones in the wall. almost too small to notice. They're fading away with each passing second, almost as if they were writing being erased by hand. You can also faintly hear the sound of something waking up in the distance, although you cannot determine quite from where. You can sort of determine that what you're hearing is goblins.
Once again, I don't hear that, so I don't know.
It's okay. It's a really basic dungeon. We'll get through this.
But there's things here.
What things?
Yeah, they're typically things in a dungeon.
I don't want to die.
Alright, so there's not enough room to place all four of you in this hallway. Just keep in mind there's a door right in front of you. And once you open up the room, I'll place you on the map.
Since Tomomi doesn't hear anything, so she doesn't suspect danger, she opens the door.
Alright. So you just open the door. The door lets out a weak, hollow clang, barely audible over the already deafening silence. You figured the door was supposed to alert something in the dungeon, but since you arrived so early, it may not have been fully formed. Alright, so the door opens. Also, Grassland, I figure you'll appreciate that I'm using music from Etrian Odyssey 5.
Nice. When's that coming out, Atlas?
Ask him again after Persona 5 comes out. Okay, is your summon already out?
Yes. It's always there.
Okay. I want y'all to look at this rad sheep.
Be great.
Okay. Alright, so let me see where you're at. Alright, so there is a door to the north, an archway to the north, and a door to the south.
Also, I can't move my dog.
Yeah, neither can I.
Neither can I.
Yeah, I think you haven't assigned this control yet.
That's weird, because I definitely got that. Hold on a second. I know what I did wrong. Okay, so, try now.
Yeah, I can move it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and just reassign those real quick.
must say, this Etrian Odyssey music sounds less like normal Etrian Odyssey music and more like the music that would play in a 90s workout video when you're doing the cool down.
Well, I believe they have 2 soundtracks for this game.
There's an FM soundtrack, yes.
Thank God.
Alright, so remember health in the red bubble, AC in the green bubble, and then you can use the blue one for whatever.
I already did that.
Also, your character has an AC of 9.
Yep.
Oh man. Alright, so where do you guys want to go?
So I look at both
Well-
of the doors.
Alright, so you're looking at both doors or just one in particular? Or?
Just both, checking them out.
Alright, so when you look at the south door, it almost looks like it's put on the wall like a painting. So you suspect that it may not have been finished making whatever's behind it. The door to the north seems a little bit more, actually set in. And then, of course, there's an archway you can just see through.
I look through the archway cautiously.
Let me check real quick.
It's a deer.
From what you can see from where you're standing, there doesn't seem to be anything in the room.
Does it lead to the same room as the door to the left of it?
It does not, actually.
Weird.
I had to generate this one a couple times before it gave me a good one.
You guys want me to pick a door?
If we go through a door, we should probably go through the north one if it's more complete.
Well, does it look trapped?
You're going to the
That's
south
what
one.
I'm about to do. Oh, it's the south one.
Well, the south. That
never
was the one
mind.
that Drasson was standing next to.
Oh, okay. It took a while for like Roll20 to register that she was next to it. I mean, I could try looking at this door, but apparently I have the worst perception, being the like trap finder character.
Hmm.
Eh, this makes it more exciting.
I guess I do also add half my level to trap finding, like.
What do you look
Looks
at?
fine to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see this door? It looks like a door. Can't really tell much about it by just looking at it. It's probably pretty good at being a door. How's that door? Alright, so you can see by looking at it that this door has no obvious keyhole. You're not sure if it's locked because you're standing a little bit away, but you just walk up and like press on it. It doesn't seem to budge. Matter of fact, it seems pretty set in place. Like you can tell that it's not like, you can tell that it's like a workable door, but there just doesn't seem to be any way to pick that lock.
The other door, I guess.
Could try looking to see if the switch of some sort to open it.
Alright, remember what I said about the south door? It looks like it's put on the wall like a painting.
So it's a fake door, got it.
So if you try to pull that door, it's just gonna come off. There might be a hole behind it.
We need more paintings. I only had a few to adorn our house with.
Alright, so you're pulling the door off the wall.
What must I roll to pull door off of?
Give me 1d20 plus your strength modifier.
So as a dungeon breaker previously, would I know if that like messes up the generation or not?
Well, okay, when I said you were a dungeon breaker with previous experience, basically you were in one attempt on a dungeon before, and it did not go well. Like you did a lot of studying on it, but like you're not a scientist like who is specialized in the generation of dungeons, so you're not certain. Basically what I'm getting at is you would need a much higher level in Dungeon Breaker. Alright, so 17. Okay, so how much strength would you say it takes to pull the average painting off the wall? Not like bolted on or anything, just sort of hung up. Okay, so you fucking like just wrenched this door off what appears to be a small hook. There's a small like kind of smooth hole behind it, like an archway was supposed to form here, but it hasn't yet.
I have a question. When we take this back to the house, if I hang it up and then I do a running leap through it, will I go into a zone where I can get stars?
Nope. You'll just hit a door and probably get hurt.
Still gonna try it.
Okay, just making sure. Alright, so top door still is locked and there's no obvious way to pick it, and the bottom door is not actually a door. But there doesn't appear to be any obvious danger in the room to the north.
North it is, then.
I still kind of want to check and see if there's like a secret button or something.
Okay, roll me a perception check. Pardon me.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore.
Alright, so you take a look around the room. You know, take about. Do you want? Matter of fact, do you remember about the concepts of taking 10 and taking 20?
I would need a refresher.
Alright, so taking 10, basically, like say you want to roll something, but you're not in any immediate danger. Like you're in now. If you don't want to roll, you can just say I'm gonna take 10, and you basically, instead of rolling, you just take 10, add your modifier. If you are you are just absolutely certain you're not going to run into any problems during it, you can take 20 instead, which takes a significantly longer amount of time, but it gives you a natural success.
If there's nothing in the room ahead of us as it looks, I would probably take 20.
Alright, well let me tell you, there's no way to know for certain you're going to end up safe at the end of that. So you can, I will let you, but like there is the guarantee, or not guarantee, there is the chance that you will be ambushed. Do you still want to do that, or?
If I do, I would probably alert my party members that I'm looking for it and that they should probably be on their guard in case something happens. I doubt there will be, but they should be on their guard.
Alright, so you're going to... Or
Does my party agree?
I keep an eye on her.
Well, not on me, just like on anywhere, and like let me know if we're being attacked or something.
I have the best perception of the party, so
Same.
Yeah, you all have better perception than I do. If you all agree to do that, then yes, I'm going to take 20.
Sure.
Okay. Alright, so everyone roll me a perception check. Never mind, me's on point. Alright, 1 second.
Darwin was just kind of fucking about.
Alright, so you take some time looking around the walls, and nothing of really any importance happens. Also, you don't find anything. There doesn't appear to be a switch.
Well, I guess continue on with the archway.
Also, I want to be clear. Did you guys hear that roll, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like I don't want it to seem like I'm not doing anything and just like making shit up. I have a set of metal dice here in front of me. I'm rolling physically when I don't want you to see the result.
I want the internet to hear my dice.
Sick dice. All right. So you go. You guys go up north to the next room. Okay, so the southern entrance to the room, like I said, is is a simple archway. There's a door to the east and a portcullis to the north. Just with a cursory glance, you can see there's a lever on the wall.
I look at the door.
Just looking at the door on at the east.
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check. Alright, so it's a door. Sure is. But when you're looking around the door, you actually see that the stones on the floor and some stones on the wall have some scratches on them. So you think something may have come through here recently. Also, just as you approach the door, you sort of smell sulfur in the room.
Rem looks through the portcullis to see what's behind it.
Do you guys smell that?
Amy, guess what?
What?
There's a bend here.
Oh boy. He is somewhat comforted by that, because it means there isn't anything that will kill her right in front of her.
There could be something that could kill her right around the corner!
I pat Rem's head.
Sleepy Time Tea continues to just chill out in the room.
Well, Sleepy Time Tea doesn't want to die.
Okay, I want to be clear. Is Sleepy Time Tea just a sheep?
It's a floating sheep with the pattern of the stars on its wool.
So
Also, it's
it's a sparkle sheep.
Yep, pretty much.
You brought a tumbler into my game.
Space wool.
Its wool literally reflects, like, the night stars that you could, like, graph the stars from it.
And also, Sleepy Time Tea is married to Nala from The Lion King.
So, if you shave its wool, will you be able to make space sweaters?
I mean, I imagine once you remove it from them, it is no longer, like, magical.
Just to point out, though, again, right next to the portcullis, you see a lever. And Grassland, as you walk back to where you were, You notice that the scratches are sort of all over the room. They don't seem to lead in any one particular direction.
Hey, Bo, I have a question about the universe of Masmora.
Okay.
What does a Xenia look like?
It's a small, sort of like jade-colored coin.
Does it have a heads and a tail?
Sure.
I flip one.
Okay, it comes up heads.
I go up here and I yank the lever.
The portcullis opens.
Well,
I'm
since
gonna-
you opened it, we'll give you the honors of looking down the bend.
Yeah, I step in and peer down with a perception check.
I follow after him so he doesn't die. Yeah, Color Printed puts up a good point. It's basically Sheep Nebby.
It really is basically just Sheep Nebby.
Well, Sheep Nebby is a thing I did behind just Cosmog is adorable.
Get in the bag, Sheep.
I would like to point out something about the coin that Erwin flipped.
Okay.
It's fake as shit. It has two heads.
Okay. Alright, so, basically it's a hallway that leads down into a, another room. Alright, real quick, before anyone else comes into the room. Erwin, roll me a perception check.
Ooh, not so good.
No, you still did it. Alright, so there were some goblins hiding, like, really shittily in this room. If you had rolled lower than a 13, you would have been ambushed. Alright, so combat, we're doing it in a really simplified manner. Where each party has 2 zones. Because you were not ambushed, the opposing team does not start in your flanking zone. So there's 2 sets of, 2 rows of squares there. There's a front row and a back row. You want to be in that blue box. So tell me if you want to be in the front row or the back row.
Front.
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 Here's the thing. Me, does Sleepy Time Tea participate in combat?
No,
Okay.
it has 5 HP. A slight sneeze would kill it.
Alright. And everyone else wanted to be in the front. Alright. Let me find the pod in my giant list of pods.
Hey, the shitty looking goblin.
Okay. Everyone roll initiative.
For real.
Really? Okay.
Alright, so everyone put your initiative on the board.
These are some high rolling goblins.
Roll 20 is being kind of slow on me today. Okay, so this goblin goes first and tries to strike at Nisha. It does not hit. Alright, Erwin, your turn.
Let me look something up really quick. Yeah, okay, I can do spell combat at level 1. Alright.
You just have to make a concentration check, basically.
How do I concentration check again?
D20 plus
1
spell
d20
damage.
plus your concentration, yeah.
Alright, also
Should
keep
have
in
a
mind.
separate-
Go ahead.
You should have a separate concentration roll. It'll be listed on, like, the spell sheet section of your sheet.
Okay. Need to roll that.
1d20 plus that. And... Or 1d20 has to beat that, I think.
Once.
Fuck, it's been a long time.
Plus double the spell level.
It's what plus double the spell level?
15.
So if I cast a cantrip, that's a 0 level spell, though, right?
Yeah.
This needs to beat 15.
Mm-hmm.
Which it might not. Okay, so it will. What I wanted to do, I'm not even sure if this will work, so tell me if it will, DM.
Okay.
I wanted to slash at one with my scimitar and shoot another one with Ray of Frost.
Yeah, that should be fine.
I'm gonna try to slash the center one and try to blast the one on the left.
Okay.
So now I roll what, the attack, or what do I
Yeah.
need to roll for the spell?
I've always just used 1d20 plus your spellcraft check,
Oh yeah. All right.
and there's like a certain DC it's gotta beat. Which I believe Ray of Frost is not high. It's pretty easy.
Well, Ray Frost is just a touch attack.
Yeah. Like I said, though, I always just use 1d20 plus spellcraft, and that's probably not how it is in the actual rulebook. I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me, but like, I've always just found that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, generally it's just attack plus your attack bonus plus versus their touch AC.
Oh, good. Well, the sword attack's definitely gonna miss.
Yeah, you missed that.
Like I said, I won't be good at sword fighting until level 3. Luckily, I'm pretty good at spellcraft.
So the Ray of Frost hits. So now roll your damage.
2. Yeah. Probably about as much as my sword hit would have done anyway. So,
Alright, so you hit the one on the right with that?
I said the left, but it doesn't really matter that much. Do they have difference, or are they 3 identical goblins? Is, I guess, the question I should ask.
They're identical goblins.
Alright, so yeah, then sure, let's go with the left one.
Okay. This goblin is going to try and strike back at Erwin. Not only does it fail to, it like drops its weapon by accident. So, it is disarmed. They don't have really a good icon for that.
I just realized anyway that my sword attack would have actually been worse because it takes a -2. I've gotten a 2. I think technically also my magic attack. So let me look. Yeah, all of your attacks at -2. So in the future, if I do cast a spell, do I roll that spellcraft check at a -2 as well?
Yeah.
Because it's written as you make all your attacks at a -2 and cast a spell. So like,
Oh, well then in that case, we'll say that the attack rolls are at -2, but the spells are fine.
alright.
Alright, so, that one misses. The other one's also going to try and hit Erwin because you hit him in the face with Frost. And he definitely does.
Well, he definitely hits.
God damn it! You got all the aggro now.
Well, how much HP do you have?
I think I have 15.
More than me.
Alright. He's going to do a d4 damage and multiply it by 2.
Well, he can't kill me, but he might get close.
He does 4 points of damage.
Great, I have 6 health left.
Not the hair.
I'll be right back.
What if I was going with the max damage rule and then I had fucking rolled a 4? That would have been terrible.
It'd be fitting if Erwin somehow just, like, in the first fight, kind of threw a snowball at a guy and then promptly died.
Got fucking murdered in the first. Oh, I don't even know how you guys would deal with that, because you guys are poor as fuck.
At least
And
because-
nothing of value was lost.
Erwin
think
just
we-
dies unceremoniously in the first dungeon and has to be replaced.
At least
Also,
we always
it
remember
also
him
occurs to
buying
me,
sexy
what would
pictures.
happen? Oh well, no, I remember now. You said Erwin and Co. But like, if he had just signed it as Erwin and he died, then the lease would be null and void.
Shit, we have to keep it alive.
Nah, it's signed as Erwin and Company. So if he dies, you guys become the owners of the house.
I guess
Anyway.
one of us. Go ahead.
I was just saying that. Like, I'll be right back.
I guess one of us has become Erwin then.
Would Erwin's parents count as his company?
I refuse to believe that Erwin came from parents. I think he just sort of emerged from the darkness. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do some tea.
I forgot to ask whether it was sleepy time tea.
Man, I want some tea.
Back myself.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Bo left and Mihal left.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for my turn to happen and I'll go get myself a drink.
Yeah, so how's the fight going, everybody?
You're not dead yet, so that's good.
General state of the company address. I'm not doing so good.
You'll be fine. At least once I hit level 2, I can start healing people. Yeah, oracles do have healing spells.
Screw that, right now I could start healing people. Like, apparently, Cure Light Wounds is a touch spell that allows me to heal people.
Well, it is, but don't your extracts only work on yourself by default?
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering about the description of it.
Well, it changes all instances of like being able to target stuff to just targeting you.
Yeah, it's target self.
Though you can get a thing that will make so that your extracts will work for anybody, but it's like a
feat.
class option.
Or no, yeah, it's an alchemist discovery, I think. So, and you get those
Okay.
you get those pretty frequently. So, probably just make that a priority, I guess. Okay. So Grassland, is your turn.
I forget, how did we work taunts in this game? Was it a free action?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Like how did taunts work again?
Taunts.
I believe it was like an intimidation roll.
Is that an ability you have?
No, you know how like I used to antagonize people to get them to hit me?
Oh yeah, well then I guess if you're just trying to antagonize something into attacking you next turn, roll me an intimidate check.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Alright, which one are you antagonizing?
The one that doesn't have a weapon. So Timon just points at it and then slides her thumb across her neck.
Wait. Never mind. I forgot what your character's name for a second was for a second. I forgot it was Tomoe.
Yeah.
Because the way you said it really sounded like you said Timon. Like from Lion King.
Okay. Alright, so Draslam, are you gonna make an attack on one?
Yeah. I'm gonna attack the one that's in front of me.
Alright. Not quite. You miss.
Well, at least I pissed it off and that's good enough.
Alright, Nisha, your turn. Sorry, go somewhere?
No, I'm here. I'm just looking at some stuff right quick.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go get myself a drink.
Yeah, I was just looking at inspiration and seeing if I wanted to use one yet, and I probably don't, just for goblins. At least not yet. I'm going to attack the goblin in front of me.
Alright. Out of curiosity, what weapon are you using?
I am using a rapier.
Okay.
No, that doesn't hit.
Yep, that's a miss. Alright, Rim.
Is lying down on the floor with her sheepy pillow, and she just like begrudgingly casts sleep on them.
Okay, so you are going prone.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're casting sleep. Does it target all of them?
Yep. It's a 10-foot radius burst.
You will also hit your teammates.
And I put it one space back.
Okay. versus touch AC, right?
It's save.
Okay. Which save? Oh, well, you're fine because these things have a will save. Okay, two of them are going to sleep, but one of them is becoming immune to sleep.
One of these goblins is a fucking super badass.
So two goblins fall over on the floor and they're just asleep. The other goblin fucking flexes at you. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Roll me a will save. Okay. You resist going to sleep because of your own spell. Okay, so your turn's over. Alright, the goblin that's up now is the one that managed to become immune. So he's going to try and attack Tomoe.
Hit me.
Maybe not this time. Alright, Erwin.
What happens when you attack a sleeping creature?
It is a coup de grace, which means you will do maximum damage and do not have to roll to hit.
Alright. Then I guess that on the one that's the least damage. That is also asleep.
Alright, so what would your damage be normally?
Oh wait, can I do something before I do that?
Okay.
This is a question of, I actually don't remember what a, does an enhancement bonus just increase my, attack rolls or also damage rolls?
Enhancement bonus?
Yeah, and it's another thing, enhancement bonus?
Yeah.
To what?
If I used Arcane Pool to expend 1 point from my Arcane Pool to give a +1 enhancement bonus to one weapon I am holding.
I'm thinking it's just your attack roll.
Yeah.
Then no need to do it. It won't increase my damage.
Like, there are some enchantments that increase your damage, but, like, it's just a flat-out bonus, like, you know, +1, +2, whatever. I think that's just attack roll.
So it's worth noting it's actually automatically score a critical hit, and if they survive, they have to roll a fortitude save or die.
Right. Okay, so, yeah. Then, roll me your damage and instead treat it as a critical hit.
So it's just double whatever.
Yeah. Certain weapons have a higher multiplier, but I think yours only has +2. Or times 2.
Scimitar is just ×2.
Okay, it's actually attack and damage rolls, I just checked.
Shit.
I mean, I was gonna apply it anyway. The Arcane Pool point, just because there is one that is still capable of fighting. And I have 4 of these points. So, I have 4 of these points and no other way to spend them at level 1. So, it doesn't say it requires an action, so I guess I just can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do that and then stab the shit out of one of these.
Well, the main thing is, I will go ahead and make this ruling now. Next time, I won't allow you to say, "Can I do a thing first?" You have to tell me. I'm not trying to, like, rag on you or anything. I'm just saying, you have to declare it first.
It was a thing I was thinking of doing. It slipped my mind when it got to my turn.
Okay, so you just kill it.
I mean, I feel like I probably would have killed it even without the bonus anyway.
You're killing just the one directly in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. This goblin is asleep. Tomoe, it's your turn.
I'll attempt to coop the sleeping one.
Okay. Roll your damage, treat it as a critical hit.
Let's see, katana, which is 18 through 20 times 2.
Yeah, okay, so no, 18 to 20 is your critical threat range. So when you roll an attack, which you don't in this case, if you roll an 18, 19, or 20, you get a critical hit. And the way we're doing critical hits, because it's been a long time, if you roll a 20, you don't have to confirm. But if you roll an 18 or 19, since those are on your threat range, you will have to roll to confirm. But since you're doing a coup de grace, you just fucking do your damage. And it said you did 6, you killed it.
Yay.
Grasslam sighed as she unsheathed her katana. Alright. Nisha, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna attack this last goblin, and I am going to use 2 points of inspiration to add a d6 to my damage, or my attack and my damage roll.
Alright, here's the thing. How many of those do you get per day?
I get 1 plus my modifier, which would be 5 total.
Okay. So you're
Well,
using
half my level, minimum 1, plus my intelligence modifier.
Okay, so you're using 2 of them.
Yeah.
Alright, roll it. Okay, you definitely for sure hit. Just roll me that damage. Okay, so you just fucking like annihilate this thing. You just stab it like 1,000 times. You nidhogg the
so inspired.
You nidhogg the shit out of this thing. Alright, 1 second. Alright, that's it. Okay, so let's see, this is you find among the bodies 35 Xenia and a small bag of gold dust.
Nice, we could sell that.
Alright, I also want to point out, yeah, even though you want to keep track of how many or how much money you have total, for the purposes of paying rent and everything, you also do want to keep track of how much you have separately. So, like, basically when you're in dungeons, keep track of your Xenia separately. When you're in town, keep track of it in one big pool. So who's taking the money?
Probably someone who has no money, right?
Yeah.
Ram.
Alright, so Rim takes the 35 Xenia off the floor. Like, she just sort of, like, instead of getting up, it's like, because she's become comfortable, she just sort of, like, rolls on her side over to it.
This is more gold than she's seen since she's come here, so she's pretty
It's-
happy about it.
It is the most Xenia you've seen in your entire life.
At the same time, she's she's getting tired again.
But
So
also, okay, so real quick before you say that, also, I need you to roll me a will save. Okay. You realize the enormity of your debt, but it doesn't phase you that
she
much.
doesn't know about the debt.
Hmm.
She's been asleep that whole time. She's not gonna find out until she gets back.
I'm gonna assume that on the way here they brought you up to speed.
I don't know.
How
for
she was
comedic
asleep.
purposes.
Well, apropos of nothing, Erwin
Okay,
just kind of
we'll just-
yells out very loudly. Well, I mean, getting stabbed isn't such a bad thing compared to the massive debt we're in.
She wakes
Nice
up
exposition.
immediately.
Roll me another will save. Okay. Okay, so now you know about the debt. You count the Xenia in your hand real quick. It equals up to 35. The amount of debt you're in is like 9 digits.
How much that?
Like, yeah, like you would have to kill a lot of goblins, like millions of goblins.
I'm just an exchange student. I don't want to go to debtor's prison. I'll be deported.
That won't happen.
It won't. Debtor's prison is not a thing in Mesmora, but Rim doesn't know that. And also, like, deportation isn't really a thing in Mesmora. Regular prison is, though. And also homelessness, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
She is having a nervous breakdown.
I was gonna do a fourth wall breaking kind of. The worst thing that we could get is a game over thing, and then realize that Jumbo isn't here, so I can't make him say it.
Maybe one day Jumbo will arrive.
Our Lord and Savior will return.
Okay. Alright, so there's a door leading out of the room to the east.
Tell me about this door.
Let me take a look at the map. Well, it's locked.
Tomari looks over at Nisha.
Anything else other than it being locked?
Well, that's pretty much all you can tell about it. Doesn't seem to have any sort of, like, trapping on it. You'd probably be fine if you just unlocked it.
Might give it a second glance over just to be safe. And I'm probably fine with whatever Gressum's character told me.
Okay, so, you...
That's my perception, by the way.
Basically, yeah, it's just locked.
Alright, gonna unlock it then with my tools.
Okay. Unlike the door you found earlier, there is a pretty big keyhole on it, so go for it. Okay, so you unlock the door. Color Printer says,
Okay.
stay tuned for my indie game Millions of Goblins. Oh man, there's one room I'm waiting for because you guys are gonna lose your shit.
Alright, with the door unlocked, I guess I open it and look what's behind it.
Alright, there's an altar in the middle of the room. You can see a door to the east and a archway to the north.
I go check out that altar.
Okay. You can, if you roll me a knowledge religion check, you'll be able to tell what the altar is for.
You know what? Let's do an intentional comedy roll.
Are you an oracle? Shouldn't you be good at that?
Not yet.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Alright, so sheep orb comes up in Pat's room on the back.
The funny thing is, Nisha could probably roll that, and she could also, because it's a knowledge check, use inspiration without it costing anything. But she probably doesn't care.
Also, you don't appear to be in any immediate danger, so you could probably look through reference materials that I would assume that you have. Matter of fact, Tomoe, your notebook is a reference material.
Oh. For what?
Just general knowledge.
Okay, I checked the notebook.
Alright, so you're gonna take a 10, take a 20.
Let's take a 10.
Alright, so you take 10. Keep in mind, 10 minus 1 is 9, and that's still not it. You may want to take 20.
Okay, fine, 20.
Okay. Alright, so you take some time and pour through your notebook, and you find out this is an altar to Sharada. Sharada is a goddess of material wealth who bestows blessings upon those who have not. She's happiest when everyone has an equal amount of money. But because you don't have an equal amount of money, the shrine doesn't give you any bonus. Also, because you took the time to really read it, also because you're an oracle, it's a little known fact that that all gods and goddesses in the realm of Masmor are actually fragments of a creator god known as simply as the Uncaring Creator. No one really knows what the machinations behind this are, although those who know this truth tend to believe that it was simply just to give Masmor's denizens variance in their beliefs. So, because you guys didn't have an equal amount of money in all your pockets, it didn't give you anything.
Or could we really? Because we have 125 gold.
What if we leave the room, split up the gold properly, and then walk in?
You cannot divide that amount of money evenly. Wait,
no. So, equal amount of gold. Why don't we just put all our gold into one corner and just walk in with empty pockets?
Because some goblin will steal it.
Yeah, you can't guarantee you'll be able to keep the money. It's not anything you can worry about right now. Don't worry about it.
Well, or I could do this. Could split it up. I could just pitch one coin in this room behind us. And 124 does divide evenly into 31 coins apiece.
Alright, so you're dividing the money up?
Yeah.
It doesn't count the sheep, does it?
It doesn't count the sheep.
Yeah, sure. Everybody has 31s.
Alright, so...
I guess if you believe this, I'll go ahead and take it.
Alright, so when you divide up the money to 31 each and put them in your pockets, Sharada is moved by your willingness to share, and she rewards the party with an additional 100 Xenia.
For everyone, or just for the party in general?
Just the party in general, to be divided up however you feel.
I feel like probably evenly, lest we annoy this goddess. Everyone has 56 now.
Okay. There's a door to the east and a archway to the north.
Sutta is like at awe in this amount of with this amount of money, which is quickly crushed when she remembers that she's in horrendous amounts of debt.
Also, for whatever reason, the music isn't playing for me anymore. Here, I'll switch it and see if it plays.
So tell me about the door that I'm staring at.
Well, you see its door. You want to try jiggling the handle?
This is a bad idea. But let's jiggle the shit out of that handle.
Just Tomoe does a fucking puts her hand on the handle and just fucking wrenches it about, and she triggers a wealth to woe trap.
Oh, good.
So let's see. Alright, let me roll a thing.
We didn't have enough woes in the wealth department so far.
Hey, me.
Yeah.
You get zapped by a ray from that hell up the woe trap, and all your money disintegrates. So you now have, how much did you say per, god damn it, with the music.
56.
56, okay, so 56, now you have 56 Xenia worth of dirt. The door also remains locked.
Meanwhile, Tomoe just doesn't hear this, so she doesn't know what exactly happened.
Was there not like a ray of light that came out of it?
Yeah, you saw the ray.
Oh.
That's why we don't just go grabbing doorknobs until we know if it's trapped or not, because then that can happen.
Is she okay?
She is curled up in the fetal position, crying.
Doesn't look like it. What happened?
She just holds
Where did that dirt come from?
You notice that the dirt appears to have come from Rem's pocket.
I don't think he has a pocket
Or wherever the hell it is she stores her money.
bag.
In her cute sheep-themed purse.
Yeah.
Something of value, possibly Xenia.
Great job, detective.
Oh, man.
You solved the problem.
Also, did you say all of it?
Yes.
You get the feeling your financial troubles have amplified.
Tomoe takes out 2 Xenias, and gives it to Rem.
She just kind of like holds onto it like an orphan child. Like you're giving them a home.
So that door is still locked.
Yeah, I'm gonna try unlocking it and possibly disarming it in case that trap is not just like a one-time use.
Perhaps we should step out of the room and you should transfer your money to somebody else.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Here, since all your gold's dirt anyways, just take what I have.
This is Domain Grasslands. Just with 2 Xenia seem kind of shitty by comparison.
So yeah, I give all 56 of my Xenia over to Rem.
She's in like awe with tears falling down her face.
Unlike everyone else, Rem does not know that 56 Xenia is like pocket change.
I mean, she could buy like a piece of candy.
You buy a potion of Cure Light Wounds with it.
You could buy many sheep with it, technically.
How about she buys a herd of chickens?
I'm not sure. Like, okay, I should point out, 1 Xenia does not equal 1 gold piece. Like, so, like, when I say, like, remember Silly Pathfinder was like, oh, this shit is worth 150 gold, and you idiots probably hook, line, and sinker at the time. If I were to say, hey, a sheep costs 150 Xenia, they would honestly be doing it to you at a steep discount.
Not even enough for a sheep, huh?
Afraid not.
Alright, let's work at this lock.
Rem, get in here before you get
Yeah,
zapped
you might
again.
wanna... There we go.
So I pick up that coin I put aside earlier.
Okay, you disarm the Wealth to Woe trap. And also unlock the door.
Alright, it's safe. The trap's down, and so is the lock.
Tomoe peeks out from the corner and gives a thumbs up.
I shake my head yes if she isn't, like, entering.
Anyways, I'm gonna go through that door.
And it may be a waste of time to do that.
Yeah, it looks
Oh.
like a long hallway that leads to 2 doors that we didn't go down before. One that we couldn't.
So I guess we're gonna go up then.
What a wonderful waste of time this has been.
Time and money.
That door cost 56 Xenia to open.
At least we have this gold dust.
I will mark that this dungeon owes me 56 Xenia in my ledger.
Someone with actual good perception should probably go down this hallway first.
Yeah. There's a corner.
There's a door at the end of the hallway.
Nisha?
I mean, I can look at it, but like I said, I have the worst out of the four of us in perception.
Okay, Rem's taking a look at the door. Rem can tell it's trapped with a sigil of creeping dread.
Trap. Trap.
I like to imagine, like, Rem starts bleeding the word trap, and you just, like, slowly retreats into a corner and just curls up.
Both of the doors
So-
out of this area have traps on them. What a wonderful design, dungeon. That's not me criticizing you, Bo. That is Erwin criticizing the dungeon itself.
Erwin hears a faint voice from somewhere that says, well, you win some, you lose some. You don't know where it came from.
Alright, just picking the trap.
Okay. It's disarmed.
Alright, is the door locked?
It is not.
Okay, opening the door.
In the center of the room,
Aw.
you see a pot with what appears to be a small, scaly set of legs poking out of it.
Is it safe?
You hear the strange creature in the pot calling out, "Please help me out! I appear to have got stuck in this pot and I can't get out. I really could use some help."
What's inside?
The voice sounds adorable, by the way.
Just to be safe, might want a perception check to see if there's like an ambush.
There doesn't appear to be anything in the room aside from the pot with the adorable voice coming out of it.
Do you want me to take care of this?
You could try pulling one in, and I could try pulling the other.
Oh, I was going to pick up this pot and smash it down on the floor.
I don't know, you might hurt him that way.
It works in Zelda.
Grassland, I'm not sure if anyone ever told you this, broken pottery is dangerous.
Alright, let's get him out.
You notice that he's just kind of like in there that because he can't seem to orient himself. You could probably just have one person lift up the pot and try to like upend it. He'd be fine.
Want me to do it because I have the highest strength?
He's not very heavy.
Yeah, mine's 16, but I imagine your character has a higher strength.
Roll me a d20 plus your strength modifier. Okay, so you just picked up the pot and upended it, and out comes the magnificent kobold merchant. And when I said that, you know that thing that happens in Paper Mario sometimes where the text gets all wobbly? as if to
Yep.
emphasize it. Yeah, imagine when I said magnificent kobold merchant, it did that. So he thanks you for letting him out. He's okay. So like he stands up to about Tomoe's knee. So he's a short little guy. Yeah, he thanks you. He thanks you for letting him out, and he says that he was looking around for water when he got stuck in the pot. And he tells you, he's like, I don't have anything to sell right now, but I'm going to this nearby city. You may have heard of it. It's called Jawira al Sahara, and I'm going to make an investment. So, and he hands you what appears to be a business card written on a leaf. And it just says the magnificent kobold merchant sells all sorts of nifty things.
Do you have a place to live?
He's like, I'm sure I'll figure something out.
You can live with us.
He's like, that's okay. I'm gonna be moving around a whole bunch, so I got it. Don't worry. Seems pretty confident for such a small, cute thing.
Tomoe secretly wants to pet it.
But perhaps maybe you should keep the card on hand and look for him later.
Rem gives him a single gold coin or a single Xenia as an investment.
And he looks at you for a second when you put it into his hand, and he just sort of hands it back to you, and he says, "I think you'll need this more than I do."
This guy like Owaka, like if we like give him a shitload of money, his inventory gets better.
Maybe, but it probably wouldn't do any good. He said he is going to town to make an investment, so perhaps he already has money. He says, all right, well, I'll see you. And he walks out the room and out the dungeon.
Walks through the wall.
Just
and
fucking
out the dungeon.
phases. Yeah, he just fucking, yeah. Okay, so that was a thing that happened.
Indeed it was.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a door right there.
I appear to still be stabbed. For some reason, I thought that would have gone away by now.
It appears it did not. There's a door to the west.
Tell me about this door.
It is a door that is unlocked and not trapped.
I open the door.
This room seems a little darker than the last one. You think now that the dungeon's been up for some time, some of the torches are starting to fade out.
I peek in.
Do you have dark vision?
No, because I'm a human.
I
light-
have dark vision.
Okay. Yeah, you need at least low light vision to see well in this room.
She motions for Nisha to come forward.
You don't catch a glimpse of anything. The room's lit up as brightly as it can be for you, because you have dark vision. But, yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Erwin, on the other hand, thinks to look up. There are some goblins, like, leaning to the ceiling. When they notice that you've noticed them, they drop down for you.
Like I think that just says, "Oi, what you doing up there?" So Erwin has a really shitty English accent that I'm just not doing.
Toy kind of grabs Nisha's arm, pulls her back, and gently closes the door.
Too late. Hey, Draslam, you've played Wizardry, right?
Yeah, why?
An encounter!
Yes! I need to play more Wizardry.
Okay.
Hopefully this combat doesn't last too long, because I probably need to head out 11:30-ish.
It's only 2, 3.
It's 3.
It's the exact same number it was last time.
It was supposed to be 4, but since you're on a time limit.
I bet I take at least 4 damage again.
Wow, the exact same number.
Nice.
You got your initiative?
I'm as unaware there's a fight even happening.
And because of her abysmal initiative, she actually goes last after the other 2 goblins that rolled natural ones. Or actually, to reflect Rem's personality, let me edit some things. There we go. Alright, so Erwin's up first.
Alright, so I roll a concentration check just if I'm doing an attack at the same, by our sort of spell casting rules. So I'm just casting a regular spell and I'm doing that alone. I just cast it with spellcraft, right?
Yeah, you would cast it. Well, you still need to roll a concentration concentration check because you are in melee range.
I don't provoke attacks opportunity if I cast him right now, do I?
I'm not gonna hold you to that in this particular battle setup. Basically what I would have you, if you were basically what I'll have you take attacks of opportunity for is, say you have a gun or something and you fire it in the front row, then you'll take an attack of opportunity. If you reload a weapon when you're in the front row, you take an attack of opportunity. Spells, I'm less inclined to do it. I guess it depends on what kind of spell you're casting. Is that the only thing you're doing in the round, or are you using spell combat? Just like spell
think
combat,
just-
you won't. I'm gonna say if you're doing just a spell, you will.
Well, with spell combat, you can choose not to take and get an attack of opportunity by casting defensively, which is the whole point of it.
Well, like I said, if he's just casting the spell, he takes an attack of opportunity. If you're doing spell combat, I'm pretty much assuming you're casting defensively. Because otherwise, like if you just took an attack of opportunity on every spell combat roll you took, that would just kind of defeat the purpose of playing a magus.
Yep.
But like if you're just casting a spell, I'm assuming you're casting offensively. Unless
I could do it as spell combat. There's no reason I couldn't, I guess. I just don't want the spell to fail.
Right. Well, then I'll just put this out here from if basically if you're going to use spell combat, declare it first. Otherwise, and if you're going to cast defensively, declare it first. Otherwise, I will assume you were just casting a spell defensive or casting a spell offensively, and you will take an attack of opportunity.
Well, yeah. All right.
And I'm not meaning to make that sound threatening or anything. I'm just clarifying.
Putting a default assumption on how things are going to work. Yeah, it's fine.
Also, I think because I'm streaming, the music is not working the best for me because it has just stopped.
It stopped for me, so I just put on my own music. I don't know. Like, so wait. The check that I need to beat with concentration, is that the DC of the spell, or was that the 15 plus double level of the spell, or whatever?
15 plus double level of the spell.
And what's the DC of the spell?
Well, you have to roll the concentration check first to. Well, no, you're doing spell combat, aren't you?
I mean, just in general, what's the DC of the spell for? Is that the thing I roll against with spellcraft?
The DC of the spell is what you roll against with spellcraft. And like the reason I'm using spellcraft instead is usually I find it makes for fewer fizzles.
Yeah, the DC is just
the roll you have to make to cast the spell.
I think it's actually the roll the opponent needs to beat.
But this isn't the spell I want to cast. Isn't actually offensive. It affects me.
All right. Well, does the spell have a saving throw?
No, because it affects me.
Okay. Well, then you don't have to worry about the spell DC.
I still need to roll a check for concentration, though.
Yes.
It's a first level spell, so I need to beat or match 17.
Yep.
Basically, just for future reference, the spell DC, he was right. It's pretty much like if a thing has a saving throw, like say you target something and it does, like they can do like a fortitude saving throw to half damage or something, they have to beat your spell DC.
Nah, that's not high enough.
Well, okay. Well, then you just fail to concentrate and you don't cast a spell.
So I don't waste a slot, though.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you don't waste a slot.
Alright. I'll still make the attack.
Damn it, jukebox work.
Yep, the attack also misses.
Okay, so you do a lot of really flashy shit, but no one really cares. Tomoe, it's your turn.
I'm gonna stab the one in front of me.
Okay, go for it. You miss.
God damn it.
Alright. Goblin Gorblin attacks Tomoe.
Nice. That's
It's your
my
AC.
AC.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
also 18.
Attacker wins, so. You take 2 points of damage. Nisha, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm attacking the goblin in front of me.
Okay. You miss. Alright, this goblin's gonna try and attack Erwin. It misses. The other goblin is also going to try and attack Erwin. That one hits. You take 2 points
Really?
of damage.
Really wish I'd gotten that spell up.
Rem, it's your turn.
I use Bless, which just gives everyone a +1 on attack rolls and saves against fear saving throws.
Okay.
You need to roll for that?
Nah. Generally what I'm gonna assume is if it's a beneficial spell, none of you are trying to resist it.
I mean, just to cast it at all.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm in the back row too, so I don't
Yeah,
need
it
to cast
doesn't
defensively.
doesn't have to cast defensively.
I
So
genuinely think, yeah, when my turn rolls around, or I guess it did roll around, I'm gonna step back and just cast regular.
alright, so you're taking a 5-foot step back.
Yeah.
Erwin switches rows. Alright, so you're just gonna cast the regular spell. Which one you casting?
The one I was trying to cast last round, which I never actually said the name of. I'm just trying to put shield on,
Okay.
so I don't die so much. Do I still need to roll the concentration check from the back row?
No, from the back row you're good.
Just the spellcraft?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, you're fine. You put shield on. Like, honestly, I probably shouldn't have even had you roll the spell trap check because it's a beneficial effect. You're not trying to resist it.
Mm.
So you just put shield on. Alright, Tomoe, it's your turn.
Okay, let's try this again with feeling. Oh, okay.
Damage roll.
Remember, you get a +2.
Yeah,
So
you didn't.
21.
It's good. You can do me a solid and roll your damage. You killed the
Yeah.
shit out of it. Which one you didn't?
The one in front of me.
Tomoe fucking beheads a goblin.
I think Tamari already has like a bigger body count than Svanhild.
Yeah, it's finally Svanhild ever actually killed anything. Just took damage like a champ though. So let's see. This one's gonna try and attack Tomoe. It misses,
So close.
or rather, it hits you, but it just dings off your armor.
She glares at the poor goblin.
All right, Nisha, it's your turn.
Okay, gonna try and hit the goblin in front of me again.
Go for it. You miss. Alright, so this thing's gonna try and strike you back.
Yeah, that hits.
Alright. You take 2 points of damage.
Is that the only amount of damage they know how to do?
Apparently. Rem, it's your turn.
Okay, so I cast Stardust on this one.
Okay.
which basically gives them a -1 penalty to perception and their attack rolls, and also makes them glow like a torch.
Okay, can they negate that with a save?
Doesn't say so on the sheet, but
You said this spell's called Stardust?
it's a ability from my spirit.
It's your... Okay, so... Let's see, Stardust. Standard action causes Stardust to materialize around one creature with 30 feet. Causes... Okay, let's see. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. This first one, I'm gonna just let go.
Okay.
Next time is going to be a reflex save.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, you do that. You do the thing. Alright, Erwin.
Sure. 5-foot step back into the front and try to just swing at one of them because spell combat is a full round action, which I can't do if I'm 5-foot stepping.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. 5-foot step is a... I think it's like...
I thought it was movement.
No. I think it's a simple action.
It's swift.
Swift action, so you're good. Go for it.
Or free, actually.
Yeah, it's a free action, so go for it.
Here's the question. You think we're headed back to town after this?
We're probably actually just gonna leave off right here in the dungeon and just pick up immediately from here.
And in that case, I won't use Shocking Grasp. Save that for a better thing. Just attack and do the Ray of Frost again. Nah, that's not enough to get a frost off. Oh well, it'll be an attack at least.
Spell combat is standard action.
It says full round on my sheet. Does Bladebound have a worse version of it?
No, I see it. It's full round.
You
Does
hit it.
that hit?
Yes, you
Okay.
do. You kill it.
Nice.
What kind of sword do you have?
Just a regular scimitar.
Okay, so you fucking like slash it right across the chest and it just dies. Alright, Tomoe.
I'm gonna stab it.
Alright, roll it.
I didn't stab it.
You go to stab it and it like dodges out of the way and you accidentally embed your sword into the wall.
Shit, my sword.
So you are moved to their flanking zone,
My Hansel seal.
but you're also facing the wrong way, so
Why do you feel me, Hansel seal?
alright, so you miss. Nisha?
And try another attack.
All right. You hit. Roll your damage. You nidhogg it again.
Wasn't even inspired that time, just felt like doing it.
You just fucking, you do that thing you can do in nidhogg where you stick your sword in it and just like sort of move it up and down a whole lot. It's kind of gross, but like, gets the job done, I guess. Okay. Let's see. The goblins drop 50 Xenia and a diluted potion of Cure Light Wounds. And because it's diluted, it only gives a d6 of healing as opposed to a d6 plus 1.
50 Xenia?
Yeah, 50 Xenia.
It's gonna take that since I don't have any, and one of you could take the diluted potion because I have 2 already.
How much does a diluted potion of Cure Light Wounds heal for?
1d6.
Mind if I fucking drink it?
Nah.
Alright, roll a d6.
Come on, 1.
You get 5 points of health back. Okay. Alright, well then that looks like we're gonna stop for here for now as far as I go. So thank you everyone for showing up. We'll be back next Friday for Final Fantasy V. We may be on Thursday morning with something or other. So bye everybody.
Bye.
Later, folks.